Hi everyone. Sorry to be all up in your face. My daughter's sleeping. Don't want to be too loud and wake her up ahead of time. This video is to this video is a response to my good friend Rob. Um, he posted a video. He posted a very interesting post about I guess a young man robbed a Pizza Hut, and while committing the robbery, an employee of Pizza Hut shot him to death, shot the robber to death. Now, that seems pretty cut and dry to me. I don't know about anyone else, but I suppose the mother, in an interview, while being interviewed, she stated that it wasn't the place of the Pizza Hut employee to shoot the robber. Now, my condolences to this family on their son being killed, but I have to go with Rob on this one. Rob's in agreement with the Pizza Hut employee shooting the robber during the robbery, and I have to agree with Rob on this point, because when you go to commit a crime, especially one as aggressive as robbery, you have to, before deciding to do such a thing, you have to consider the possibilities. And when it comes to a crime as aggressive as robbery, you can't even leave possibilities, your decision to be based in probabilities. It has to be considered the possibilities. And by possibilities, I mean Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen will happen if given enough chances to allow it to happen. And in this case, it only took one incident for the ultimate possibility to happen, which would be being shot to death. Now, the mother of this young man, this dead young man that committed the robbery, she is saying that the Pizza Hut employee shouldn't have shot him to death because that would have been a matter for the police. Listen, if she is saying basically, what she is saying basically is if she was home invaded and her or her husband was armed, and this robber, they should hope that he's not in their house while he's robbing them, hope that he has the common sense not to kill them while committing that crime. On this point, that's why Rob is right. That's why my friend Rob is right. My friend Rob is right, because you can't leave that to chance. Our first directive or first concern as a living species is self-preservation. That's the point of an immune system. That's the point of your instincts. That's the point of it. Your whole life is self-preservation. You know what I mean? That's the point of even sex and reproduction. It's all about self-preservation. So if I was one of those Pizza Hut employees, after knowing what's happened to during other robberies in the past, of not only fast food places being robbed and thought easy targets, but people getting tied up, shot execution style, by the crew, not just by one or the robber just running out. I mean, yeah, there's a chance that the robber might just come in and rob the place and then just steal the money and then run out. But there's also a chance of being pistol whipped. There's also a chance of that person discharging a firearm accidentally. There's also and hurting someone. There's also a chance of him deliberately discharging that firearm and shooting everyone deliberately. So if for that Pizza Hut employee to defend himself, and I get the mother's position. She's emotional. She's distraught. She just wants to see. She's just trying to imagine and create a scenario in her head of her son, a possibility of how her son could still be alive in this situation. But it's not being guided. My condolences to her, but what she's saying should not be taken as wisdom, because we all know when your emotion, as I've stated in previous videos, that emotions are the limits of intellect, of intelligence. So right now, in time of grieving, how can we possibly expect common sense to be coming out of this woman? She is distraught. She is grieving. So Rob Martin, you are right on that when you said that the employee should have defended himself. Now, this is where Rob is wrong, because he goes on to say that, hold on, I want to make sure I get it right. He says, this lady is just downright stupid. Shouldn't have said that. My dude, come on. Come on, man. If that's your son, regardless of the crime he's committing, you are just distraught. So, of course, she's not going to be speaking intelligently right now. So it's like you're just looking to call someone stupid. You know what I mean? Like, let's be serious on that. Like, you got to be a little more considerate on that. The stupid person was her son for going in that place, for going into that business, the crime of robbery. That was a stupid act. And not expecting that there was a possibility of being shot. So I'm with you on that one. But to call the mother stupid when you know that she's grieving, who grieving is intelligent while grieving? Who's intelligent while grieving? Help me out on that one, Rob. Help with that one. Who's intelligent while grieving? He says, if her son didn't rob the place, he would be alive. I agree. I agree with you on that point. He also goes on to say, I think we need nationwide concealed carry for all fellow Americans, because right now, all the bad guys got guns, and it's time we start shooting back. Sounds good. Sounds like a guy who's too much Call of Duty. Sounds like a guy who's played too much Grand Theft Auto. And let me tell you why. Why are we blaming the symptoms? We're always, I love in the land of the brave, we love to blame the symptoms. No one seems to go at the cause. That's why I say this is the land of cowards. As armed, first off, it's a Christian country. We've already discussed the hand on the Bible when the president gets sworn in, hand when you're on the Bible when you have to give testimony in a courtroom. Churches in every community. So this is a Christian nation. And as I remember the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesus states, no weapon formed. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Yet the whole country hides behind guns, or wants to hide behind guns. The whole Christian nation wants to hide behind guns. Real Christian of you. Real Jesus would, I'm sure Jesus approves. Because even the pastors hide behind guns. So let's just call it for what it is. Hypocrisy. This is not a democracy, it's hypocrisy. This is the United States of hypocrisy. Let's be clear on that. And let me tell you why. First, my daughter comes home from daycare the other day talking about world peace. They were singing a song about world peace. How can we possibly achieve world peace if this country is the is the world's number one weapon maker and weapons seller? And that's by far. I think it's 2014 or 2013, we supplied 70% of the arms market in the world. Do I need to repeat that? You can look this up. Either it was 2013 or 14, we supplied 70% of the we owned 70% of the market share for arms in the world. That's my first point. So there goes any bid for world peace. We want world peace. First off, we don't want peace. peace would be bad for business, for arms business, and that's our number. I think is that our number one export? Well, invasion's our number one export, but yes, I'd say arms would be up right up there too. Um, so he suggests that we should arm every citizen. In 2017, we should return back to the Wild Wild West and return back to the conditions of the OK Corral. That's what intelligent, sentient beings should be doing. Christian, by the way, and also Christian. Let me make sure I put that layer on top of it. And you wonder, and he's got support in this. A guy with a conceal and carry. Yeah, Rob, tell him. You tell him. Yeah. I got a conceal and carry. We should all be armed. Now let's think about this. We're 40th in math and science. You think we should have people that the majority of the country that 40th in math and science having guns, that should be walking around daily making decisions on whether or not to take someone's life based on their level of intellect, a 40th in the world at math and science. And don't say, oh, this is recent, Jason. I don't know if you ever watched Jay Leno before. You ever see him around asking young people questions about the country, the history of the country, or basic questions about education? Like, we've been dumb for a long time. This has been a long trending trend that's been going for a long time. You know what I mean? So I don't believe that unintelligent people, non-intellectual people should be. First off, human beings are mostly emotional. Our emotions dominate our intellect. So I don't want a country of emotional beings to be armed and deciding who should live and die based on the whims of their emotions. That's unintelligent, as Malcolm X would say. That is unintelligent. Why are we attacking the symptoms of the problem instead of going at the cause? And here's the cause. Capitalism. You can call me a communist. You can call me whatever you want to call me. The fact is, this is what it is. Capitalism. The zero-sum game that it is. That is the underlying fundamental problem of it all. And I'm not a communist. You know what you can call me? A common denominator. Because that's what I like to reduce things down to. I like to reduce things down to a common denominator. Why is this happening? I don't look for symptoms. I look for why things are taking place. And it is not even my belief. It is clear that things are happening. Because in the area that I live, Somerset County, I think yesterday I made a video about an older lady thinking that around here the number one crime is robbery, and this is a predominantly white area. The guys that go to jail for robbery around here, all white. Most of the time they're drug addicts. So I posed the question back to Rob of, should they be killed as well while committing these robberies? Are we going to be consistent in that, or is it just the black robbers that should be shot? So I just want to make sure that my friend is being consistent when he says, oh, I deserve to be shot. And once again, I get that part. I do. Because if someone comes in my house and puts you know what I mean, at risk, I'm sorry, it is what it is. It's survival of the fittest at that point. You've created a situation where it is about survival then. But to put the whole entire country in that position where everyone is walking around armed and non-intelligent, that means we're all going to go into survival mode. One gun going off down the street, if everyone's armed, they might think it's aimed at them, and then we'll have like a whole reflexive action that happens in a mass way where everyone just starts aiming at each other, thinking someone else is aiming at them. So I'm lost in that one. But so I just wanted to know on that, does that also apply to white robbers as well, that we should shoot them as well while they're committing robberies? Which in my estimation, yes. If you're in a situation of survival, then I don't care what color you are. It's me over you every time. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I think everyone else feel that way, or you know what I mean, if you're rational. Now, where I have the problem is capitalism. Capitalism is a zero sum game. It's fundamentally a zero sum game. That's why you have consistent mass layoffs in the thousands. If anyone watches CNBC or pays attention to how many people are laid a month, you know what I mean? They love to talk about how much their jobs they're creating a month. No, look how many people get laid off a month. College people. I'm not just talking about the poor, even the college people. Wall Street is laying off people all the time in the thousands. The big corporations are laying off people all the time in the thousands. This is not exclusive to the the mass majority of us who are middle class or poor. Uh, what was his other point? Another point I wanted to make was there. When I state that capitalism is a zero sum game, what I'm saying is, what is the point to it? What is the point to being rich? We all can't be rich, and that's what the whole capital. That's what capitalism provides to all of us. It puts this dreamland in front of us, like Disney World, and tells us the American dream. All of us can't have the American dream. It's impossible, mathematically impossible. The pie is only so big. So, and the 1%, they want most of it. So how can there's rich people, you cannot have an equal distribution of the American dream? It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. It for Once you have rich people involved, then you have them taking the lion's share and everyone else fighting for the scraps, which creates conditions that makes people feel that they have to resort to robbery, whether they are white or black. Another position, another cause as a direct result of our system of capitalism, is the artificial, unattainable expectations put on people. Oh, you need to live like this. You need to have this. You need to dress a certain way. You need to be able to wear certain brands to feel self-worth. That's the reason why you have Michael Jordan sneakers being made in China for like $5 and being sold over here for like $300. Like, think about that. It goes from being worth $5 where it's made in China, and for some reason it magically gains, what's the markup on that? You know what I mean? Like 3,000% by the time it lands in this country, and it can be scuffed easily and ruined easily. No, if I'm paying that much money, listen, and that's for brand, not quality of the manufacturing. You're paying for brand. Like, am I the only one noticing that we're retarded? Excuse me, I didn't mean to use that word. Because you know what? We're in a politically correct world now. This is non-intellectual. It's unintellectual. Like, we need to decide, what are we going to be? Do we want to be a Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, shoot each other society that loves to put forward the perception of USA, I love my fellow Americans? Because to put forth a suggestion that says, let's arm everyone. I mean, come on, man. If you're really trying to solve, that's not a solution. That's not a practical solution, or let me Americanize it. That's not a pragmatic solution. That is a knee-jerk emotional solution. No more intelligent than the mother making the suggestion that the Pizza Hut employee should not have defended himself. So, unfortunately, my friend, while you're there pointing the finger at this lady and calling her stupid, you did not. You made a suggestion that was not well thought out, and I'll be a little more sensitive and use that word instead for you, because you're my friend. You stated something that was not well thought out. Let's arm everyone. How many people do you know that are smart? Because the vast majority of the people I know aren't smart. You know what I mean? The vast majority of the people I know are always looking for escape, running to escape. like a gun. You know what I mean? And in fact, this guy committing the robbery, guess what he was doing? He was trying to escape his conditions. He was trying to escape his reality. So when I put forth these knee-jerk emotional suggestions, all I'm saying is hold on a second and fall back and think it through before you just start saying things, because what you say has influence in the world. Whether you believe that or not, you know it, or else you wouldn't have posted it. You have influence. And that gentleman piggybacked on your comment. He was quickly, yeah, it's fine. He was looking for confirmation bias, and so are you. That's why, you know what I mean? Both of you just confirmation biased each other. No, we've got to think this thing through. What is wrong with the system overall? What causes these robberies in the first place? What's causing all of these cops to attack unarmed people and brutalize them? What's causing people to shoot at cops? What's causing Obama to take to be paid $400,000 for a speech, but claims that he's for the poor? Like, and et cetera, and et cetera. In my mind, it's because the whole system's corrupt. The French writer in the 1600s, he already made a note of that. Back in the 1600s, and in the book, The Fable of Bees, when consumerism first begun, they made a note that this will cause the deterioration of morals in society. Like, if you do not want to take the time to read or study upon the causes and the fundamental issues, the common denominator of all the problems in society, or the vast majority of problems in society, then please do not influence people to want to become violent and return society back to a state of the Wild Wild West and the OK Corral. Everybody loves violence until it's committed on them, until it's perpetrated on them. That's what's so funny about you shoot first people. Everyone loves violence until they're the one that's shot, until their family is the one that's shot. Using guns to fight guns is not the way of an intelligent species. It's the way of an over-emotional one at that species. The intelligent thing to do is to figure out what the root problem, the common denominator, the actual cause. Only cowards seek to solve a problem, seek to cure a sickness by blaming a sneeze, by blaming the cough. Why aren't we blaming or seeking the actual cause of the sneeze, the actual cause of the cough? I wonder if it's because we're so used to seeing hospitals and doctors and pharmaceuticals only come up with treatments and not cures. They do say poop runs downhill, and poop at the top influences us at the bottom. So you know what? In a way, Rob, I guess you're not wrong. I could see, well, you know, you are wrong, but I could see where you got that idea from. The top is only proposing continuing problems, which is what capitalism does. They're not actually trying to solve a problem. Well, it seems that that's what God sent me here for. To think of solutions and put them forth. Enjoy your day.